Welcome back to Grammar Grade 9. This is Unit 6, Lesson 46, and today we're looking at what happens to a verb when a sentence has more than one subject. We call that a compound subject, and it turns out the little word that joins those subjects, and, or nor, quietly decides whether the verb should be singular or plural. Get that joining word right, and agreement falls into place every time. Let's dig in. Let's start with the idea itself. A compound subject is simply two or more subjects that share the same verb. Look at this sentence. Ravi and Nadia cook dinner. There isn't one person doing the cooking. There are two, Ravi and Nadia, and they share the single verb cook. What holds those subjects together is a joining word, and it's usually and, or nor. Here's the key thing to remember for the whole lesson. That joining word is what decides whether your verb is singular or plural, so keep your eye on it. Now, the most common case, subjects joined by the word and. When two subjects are joined by and, you're adding them together, so the compound subject is usually plural, and it takes a plural verb. Ravi and Nadia are cooking dinner. Two people, so we say are, not is. The same holds with both and. Both the coach and the captain have arrived. That's two arrivals, so we use have, not has. Think of and as a plus sign. It stacks the subjects up into more than one, and more than one calls for a plural verb. But here's a twist worth knowing. Sometimes two words joined by and don't name two separate things. Together, they name one single thing. When that happens, the compound subject is singular, and it takes a singular verb. Rice and beans is a filling lunch. We're not talking about rice over here and beans over there. We mean one dish, so we say is, not are. Same with peanut butter and jelly is my favorite. That's one sandwich, one thing, so again, is. Ask yourself, are these two ideas or one combined idea? If it's one, go singular. Now, things get interesting when the joining word is or nor, including the pairs either, or, and neither, nor. Here, you do not simply add the subjects together. Instead, the verb agrees with whichever subject is nearer to it, the one sitting closest to the verb. Watch what that does. Either the twins or dad is cooking. The subject closest to the verb is dad, and dad is just one person, so we use the singular is. But now I'll swap the order. Either dad or the twins are cooking. Now, the twins are closest to the verb, and twins is plural, so the verb changes to are. Same two subjects, but the nearer one is in charge. Let me show you that closer rule as a picture, because it's easy to see once you spot the nearest subject. Neither the drums nor the flute is tuned. The subject nearest the verb is flute, just one, so the verb is singular, is tuned. Now, watch me flip the two subjects around. Neither the flute nor the drums are tuned. This time, the nearest subject is drums, which is plural, so the verb becomes are tuned. The instruments never changed, only which one sits closest to the verb changed. So always match the verb to whichever subject sits closer to it. There's one more pattern that quietly overrules everything we've said. When the little words every, each, or the phrase many a come right before a compound subject, the verb becomes singular, even though the subject is joined by and. Every actor and dancer bows at the end. Even with and in there, we say bows, not bow. Each teacher and student has a name badge, has, not have. And many a hope and dream begins right here. Begins, singular. Why? Because every, each, and many a make you look at the members one at a time, so the verb treats them as one. Whenever you see those words in front, reach for the singular verb. Let's boil the whole lesson into a quick check you can run on any compound subject. Step 1. Is it joined by and? Then it's usually plural. Step 2. But do those two parts really name one combined thing, like a single dish? If so, go singular. Step 3. Is it joined by or nor? Then match the verb to the nearer subject, the one closest to it. And keep this last one in your back pocket. If the subject starts with every, each, or many a, the verb is always singular, no matter what. Run those checks and you'll never guess again. Let's practice. In this first set, I'll give you a sentence with the verb missing, and you choose the form that agrees with the compound subject. Check the joining word first, then decide. Pause the video and try each before I reveal the answer. Basketball and soccer, blank, my favorite sports. These are two different, separate sports joined by and, so the subject is plural. That means we need are. The answer is are. Macaroni and cheese, blank, on the menu today. Careful, this is the one unit exception. Macaroni and cheese isn't two things. It's a single dish, one item on the menu. So the verb is singular. The answer is. Neither the actors nor the director, blank, nervous. Because these subjects are joined by nor, we match the verb to the nearer one, and the closer subject is the director, just one person, so the verb is singular. The answer is. Now, in this second set, we'll mix in the near subject rule and those special words, every, each, and many a. Look closely at the joining word and at any word sitting out in front. Pause and try each before I answer. Either the players or the coach, blank, bringing the snacks. Joined by or, so we look at the near subject, the coach, sitting right before the verb. And that's just one person, so the verb is singular. The answer is. Every student and teacher, blank, a locker. See that word every out in front? It overrules the and makes the verb singular, treating them one at a time. So we need has, not have. The answer is has. Neither the pilot nor the attendants, blank, late. Joined by nor, so match the nearer subject. And this time, the closer word is attendants, which is plural. So the verb is plural too. The answer is were. Let's gather up what we've learned. When subjects are joined by and, they usually add up to a plural, unless those two parts really name one single thing, like rice and beans, in which case you go singular. When they're joined by or nor, forget adding. Instead, match the verb to the nearer subject, the one sitting closest to it. And whenever a compound subject begins with every, each, or many a, the verb is always singular, no matter how many nouns follow. Keep your eye on the joining word, and agreement will take care of itself. Great work today. I'll see you in the next lesson.